Why should going viral on Instagram not be the goal?
I actually think virality can sometimes hurt you when it comes to partnerships more than it can help you. Typically, the stuff we work the hardest on is the stuff that ends up performing the worst.
It's okay to want to reach more people and to go viral. However, viral is going to be different for everyone.
We have to kind of be careful what we ask for. There's a lot of times going viral doesn't really bring you the right people, right growth. It doesn't help your business. I would say instead focus on things that you want your.
So I posed a question on my IG story. Have you ever had a post go viral? And 86% said yes. We're going to talk more about the idea of chasing that virality of the post, because that's what it seems like. We're trying to hit these crazy, ambitious numbers. Should that be the goal? Should that be our focus? Why should going viral on Instagram not be the goal? And I want to add one other aspect to that. What would you recommend we focus on instead?
I'm going to say it's not the goal for me. I would recommend for most people who are businesses that it shouldn't be the goal. Now, I'm not going to say it's not the goal for anyone. You know, maybe there's someone that they have really good content, they're really good at what they do, and maybe not having a bigger account is holding them back. And I'll give you an example. Actors, musicians, sometimes these people are not getting booked because the agencies are like, oh, you don't have, 20,000 followers. Yeah. So maybe for them, going viral is all they need because they got the rest covered, right? I would say for businesses, it's not, especially I think a lot of people are learning from experts like us that are just teaching them formulas to go viral from people who went viral giving formulas to go viral. A person who sells shoes is not going to give people tips on how to go viral on Instagram, so they can't grow the same way that people teach them grow. So I think we have to be really wise on that. For me, if you're a business, virality shouldn't be the goal, because growing your business should be the goal. If you go viral because you talked about this amazing product or offer you created and people just buy it and went viral, amazing. Like I'm wearing viral pants right now from TikTok. So, so like if that happens, best of both worlds, right? Now what happens a lot, and I've seen many people that this has happened to, even if that virality brought them leads, because my lawyer is one example. She has this amazing account. She's funny. She gives a lot of tips for small businesses that we don't have access to. People don't know because lawyers are expensive. She went viral talking about, what to do if people copy your digital offers or something. She got completely overwhelmed. She had just had a baby. She had comments about her appearance. She had like the nastiest stuff that doesn't fit. She grew tens of thousands of people from that one reel. And they were interested in her business, but also the rest of it that came along with it, she archived that post because that was too much. So we have to kind of be careful what we ask for. There's a lot of times going viral doesn't really bring you the right people. It doesn't bring you the right growth. It doesn't help your business, and it's going to mess up with your mental health. So I would say instead focus on things that you want your perfect lead, perfect customer to know or to see, and what you think they need. And if you go viral because of that, then great, like best of both worlds. But I would say like just going viral, use this song or do this, like it doesn't really do much of benefit, and it can backfire.
First of all, that's an incredible story in regards to certain people that have that unfortunate result when they go viral, because you can't control who actually sees your content and the way that they will respond to your content, whether it's good or bad.
As you were talking, Manu, I feel like I was like, oh, everything that you said was spot on. To kind of like add on to what you had already said, I work with a lot of creators in my membership program, where especially like a lot of like fashion creators or plus size creators, so many of them have just experienced like hate like you would not believe. And I do think that there's a certain point where it's like, is it worth all of the bad things that are coming from this for me to even keep posting reels? So I think that for that reason alone, like you really do have to consider, like, is going viral really the goal? Because you're going to have to prepare yourself very likely for those type of comments to come in. And honestly, I think that for a lot of people, that is like, the straw that breaks the camel's back. Also, something else that you mentioned too that I think is very important to think about, the idea that like there are so many videos of people like sharing this is the exact formula that you should use to go viral, like I made a whole video talking about how that sets people up for failure so much.
Absolutely.
Because if I see it and someone else says this is what you need to do and I go do it and I'm like, well, it didn't work for me. Like, do I suck? Does my content suck? And again, it's like very discouraging. So I think in that way, it sets us up for failure. I actually think virality can sometimes hurt you when it comes to partnerships more than it can help you. If you have a handful of videos, you know, in a 30-day period that are going viral, if a brand hires you, they're very likely going to expect that they're having similar results. And obviously, we all know that, like, typically the stuff we work the hardest on is the stuff that ends up performing the worst. So again, like we've said, always like those really quick, easy things that end up going viral. Obviously, when a brand is paying you hundreds or thousands of dollars, you're putting a lot of energy and effort and work into it. And people already have like annoyances when they see partnerships come up that they're already kind of writing it off sometimes. And so all of that being combined, it is very difficult to get your sponsored posts to outperform your typical posts or go viral in general. And I never want that to set you up again for failure when it comes to a brand partnership as well. And what I would say to do instead, I think it really is just, again, focusing on creating content that is going to help you achieve whatever goal it is that you want to achieve. Again, I think it depends on who you are. If you do just need to go viral and get that number up, then do your thing. But I think for most people, we're selling a product, we're trying to work with brands, and we want to, in both of those scenarios, have a higher quality of audience than a higher quantity, especially again when we talk about brand partnerships. At this point in time, most of the brands out there are starting to dabble so much more in working with nano creators or micro creators because they can sustain having such high engagement. And you know, when you have 500,000 followers, that's very difficult for you to try and have conversations with these people and answer all these DMs. Like, it can be very overwhelming. I think posting content that similar to what everyone really here is saying is like going to help achieve that goal and really make it so that, again, you can make your sales or you can build your relationship with your audience, again, to make sales or do more brand partnerships, higher your engagement, would be the goal more than going viral.
Exactly how I feel. And to that point, a little more around the sense that it's okay to want to reach more people and to go viral. I mean, I do talk about how you can go viral and I teach you how you can reach more people, right? That's part of what I do. However, in these pieces of content that I'm sharing, always adding the note of viral is going to be different for everyone. So viral actually doesn't mean a million. It doesn't mean 500,000. Like if you had, I think I saw somebody in the comments say that they had a reel hit like 1,500, and that's the highest theirs ever done. Like that's incredible. And look and study that piece of content, understand why it could have connected more, what could have been part of the reason behind that, and continue to do that, right? So maybe we're not necessarily here just to copy the people who are saying in order to go viral do A, B, and C, but figuring out your own content and how it worked, why it worked well, and really diving into that, and then focusing overall that engagement, that connection. Because I will say from personal experience, kind of what Kristen was just leading into, once I was reaching so many people consistently, I got overwhelmed. I stopped responding to comments. I stopped being able to keep up with DMs. And to this day, I still really struggle to stay on top of it, even though I'm getting way less now. It's just like I'm scarred by having that overwhelm. And it's a boundary now that's very hard for me to see. And I get behind so often. It's kind of like a mind game. So there's good, there's bad, but it's all perspective and understanding what your goal is and finding the boundaries.
Such a good thing to bring up too, because people in the audience are trying to be perfect. They're trying to have all the perfect posts, perfect reels, post consistent, post every day, answer to every common question right away, engage 30 minutes before, after they post, all the things. None of the four of us have said so far that we go viral all the time. You're saying that you have a hard time getting to your DMs. Like, guys, we are experts and we do this. So it's okay that everybody else does too. No one expects everybody to be perfect.
Yeah. That's the key word. I'm so glad you said it. That was the key word I was actually going to follow up with, and it's perfect. And I like to kind of use this statement: chasing virality is akin to chasing perfection. I prefer progress because it's measurable, and I could say, okay, if I'm doing better here, or there. So that's why I would probably say I think you should not chase virality. And what I like to say is, and I've heard this from, I believe it was Sean Cannell, who's more popular on YouTube. I think some of his stuff does apply to Instagram as well. And he has this method called the VFM, viral for me concept. To kind of simplify it, you were kind of alluding to it as well, Megan. If somebody has 1,500 views, that might be really great for them.
Mhm.
They're not looking at it based on just their followers. They're looking at it based on what works for them, not comparing it to others. So for me, viral for me, I like to look at it as I take my averages of maybe the last 3 posts that I posted maybe last week. I take that average and I say, all right, now let me compare that to this new post. And if this new post gets more than that average, as far as I'm concerned, I went viral. And I use the example of somebody that has 5K followers compared to somebody that has 50K followers. If they both get 25K views on a reel by Instagram math, they're going to say that only the 5K follower is the person that actually went viral because they went more than his amount of followers. But we're not looking at the content or the performance of the content of the person that has 50K, and they might be doing really bad as well. So if you compare it to that person's previous content, it might be both the same, and both of them might have actually been considered going viral. I like to apply it in that aspect where it's more viral for me rather than I'm thinking or comparing a viral in regards to somebody else, because you're running an endless match that you will never be able to win in that aspect. So that's how I like to kind of consider it. What you should focus on, I call it the GSC principle, which is pretty much just growth, sales, and engagement. I think those 3 key things on Instagram or even any social media platform are things that you should focus on, particularly as a business, because I think in some ways we all kind of shared some aspect of those GSE, growth, sales, and engagement. I mean, they're measurable and they're attainable. You can't just say, I'm going to post this and I know it's going to go viral. The algorithm is not working like that. There
No.
is no key that's going to allow you to do that. So that's how I like to look at it. And I think all of you have shared some really great tips in regards to this topic of not focusing on going viral, because I think that's what a lot of people did in the old days, especially when these new platforms pop up. People were trying to do that when Threads popped up just a few months ago. They were doing it in TikTok because the algorithm worked more in their favor, but it doesn't last. As you can see now, things have slowed down on Instagram, they've slowed down on TikTok, and they're going to continue to do that. Now, focus on what you can measure and improve daily.
I always tell people too to compare their performances to the numbers of the last 30 days.
Yes.
Because the landscape is always changing. When Meg was going viral all the time, there's less people that had figured out consistency and really hitting that chord with reels. Today, there's a lot more people. So not only people are following more people that follow us, but they're also, all the accounts they follow are posting more content out there. And also there's more sideways scroll on Instagram because now there's the recommendations, the Reels tab. People are using DMs a lot more. Mosseri is always talking about this. So people miss our posts not just because, the algorithm hates me. It's because it's a more competitive platform and people are going to more places. It's the point of comparing yourselves. I mean, imagine learning to ride a bike and being upset that you didn't go in the Tour de France. Like, it doesn't make any sense, and we do it every day with Instagram. So.
Very valid.
I so gotta steal that analogy. I love that. That is awesome. I know that we dropped so many gems here, but thank you for those great suggestions and pieces of advice in regards to that topic. I'd love to share more about the Social Roundtable with you. If you have a moment, check out the playlist that's on the screen. It's featuring more episodes from the Social Roundtable all about Instagram growth, the latest new features, and strategic ways to build on your engagement, and so much more. You're not going to miss it, so make sure you check it out, and I'll see you there.